Welcome back to Docking Station. I'm Noobs. Well, Nintendo of America has announced that it will shut down many of the Wii's online services on June 28th. This includes some Wii Connect 24 features, as well as 5 classic Wii channels. The early days of the Wii were a crazy time. Nintendo was throwing everything at the wall to see what would stick. It wasn't just motion controls, it was things like the Virtual Console, and it was these app-like channels that they kept introducing over time. I'm just going to run through the 5 that are closing, reminisce, talk about what they were all about, and probably get a little nostalgic in the process. Let's go. So the first one I'm looking at is the Forecast channel, probably the dullest out of the bunch here. This is really best known as the Globe Spinning channel. Obviously it's just a map of the world. You can move it around with the cursor, give it a nice spin, and you can check out the weather for your area, of course. Okay, next, the second most boring channel, the News channel. This is really just a collection of AP wire stories. Best known feature here is that you get to play with the little cat on the loading screen while the news downloads. Once you're in the application itself, you can actually see news stories stacked up in various regions where they're taking place. This is another good channel for globe spinning. Now, here's a fun one, the Check Mii Out channel. Nintendo would prescribe contests and you could judge people's submissions. That was one part of this. Say somebody who looked like they'd just been kissed, a swimmer, the Tooth Fairy I remember. And you would go make your Mii in the standard Mii channel and then submit it. People would vote. Of course, this is also a great place to just come and check out what other Miis that people had made and download them. People made incredible Miis that resembled, famous people or even fictional characters, even non-human characters, with just a limited tool set of the Mii Maker. And this was a great place to come and pick them up, add them to your Mii collection, and then you get to hang out with them in Wii Sports and Wii Fit. Now, the Everybody Votes channel, it's very simple. Just Nintendo would at regular times introduce a poll, and it was always just one option or the other, just a 2-option poll. You would then vote with, supply your answer by voting, and then also you could make a guess at what you thought the majority would choose. And it was sort of like a game where you try to guess, and you get rated on how well you evaluated other people. This was a fun one because when you get the results in, the Miis would run in from the sides and sort of slowly populate the data, and there was sort of that moment of anticipation. You were waiting to see, whether you had guessed correctly. Okay, and then really the biggest and the best channel of all, save this one for last, is the Nintendo channel. It's really actually a collection of quite a few different features. One is just videos from Nintendo. This is game trailers, Nintendo Directs. They had other promotional videos all the time. So that in itself was a great service. Then you could also come here to download DS demos. So for your old DS, you couldn't actually just hop on directly to the internet through the OS. So you would sync it up with your Wii and download the demos through your Wii. You would also come here to rate games and make recommendations, check out games that you could potentially be interested in. But then, my personal favorite, and something that frankly should have been built into the OS of the Wii itself and not relegated inside the Nintendo channel, was gameplay records. So this is where you come, you check out the total number of hours played and how many times you've played all your different Wii games. You can't really do this through the Wii's OS because you just had that calendar, remember, and you could see how much time you spent playing a game on a given day, but not combined. So you can see here I played an awful lot of Brawl, Twilight Princess, and Super Mario Galaxy. Not surprising there. So it's not just these 5 channels that Nintendo's shutting down. They're actually closing down Wii Connect 24 services. That involves other things like the ability to communicate with other players through the message board, things like that, share screenshots and stuff. So that actually affects a number of games as well. Well, I can't say I used many of these channels very often, but they're fun to look back on, and they sort of speak to how ahead of its time in certain ways Nintendo was with the Wii. These channels were sort of a progenitor for things like apps and the sort of software people use every day now on their phones. Let me know what your favorite Wii channel applications were in the comment section below, any fun memories or nostalgia you have, and stay charged.